Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is RuneSnow, and today we'll be going over Magic the Gathering top 10 Shepherd cards. And now, at number 10. With the first being on our list is Soul Shepherd from Weatherlight. It's common, going for only 4 cents on the market. Well, it's pretty simple. It says remove a creature card in your graveyard from the game, gain 1 life. So there's no tapping ability, but it is a creature, it's not an enchantment, so definitely a drawback, and that's why it's at number 10. On top of that, it costs 2 mana to put into play. So let's move on to number 9. We have Shepherd of the Cosmos from Kaldheim. It's an uncommon for only a whopping 9 cents on the market. Well, it costs 6 mana for this 3/3 flying, but at least it's an angel, so there are creatures that can pump it up. It says when it enters the battlefield, you may return target permanent card with a current mana cost of 2 or less from your graveyard. Or it does have Foretell, which can be a factor. This is why it's at number 9. Has a lot of abilities, but I don't know how this is an uncommon. It should be a common. So let's move on to number 8. We have Owlbear Shepherd from Commander Legends of Battle for Baldur's Gate. It's an uncommon, going for 33 cents on the market at the time of this video. And this card is more like a wall than anything else because it costs 3 mana for this 1/4. But it does have that ability. You can draw cards if you have a power or 8 or greater with a total power. So that could be everything. And with green, that's kind of pretty easy. So I can see why this would be uncommon. So let's move on to number 7. Which we have is Fel Shepherd from Commander 2013. It's a rare, going for just 24 cents on the market. That's not a lot. So it does have its good and its bad. That's why it's at number 7, is because, well, it costs 8 mana for an 8/6, which is pretty standard for high-powered creatures. But it does say when you may return to your hand all creature cards that were put into your graveyard from the battlefield this turn if it deals combat damage to a player, so not even a planeswalker. Then it says sacrifice a creature. Another creature, target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. So at least it has that ability so then you can kill his creatures, bring those creatures back, and just kind of repeat the cycle over and over again, especially when it only costs 1 swamp, which is impressive. So let's move on to number 6. Which we have is just Twilight Shepherd. It's from various sets. It's a rare, going for 68 cents on the market at the time of this video. And I'm actually quite impressed with it because, as you guys know, I'm a fan of the white. It costs 6 mana for this 5/5 flying and vigilance, which I would like to play with in general. But when it comes into play, return to your hand all cards in your graveyard put there from play this turn. So it's kind of like the other card, but this one has persist. So this is why it's at number 6. And it's basically how you want to play it. So let's move on to number 5. So halfway down our list, we have Shepherd of Rot, either from Onslaught or Plane Chase. It's a common, going for the sets accordingly, 61 cents or 381 on the market. Now this one is going to be really fun, especially if you can gain life in your deck, so maybe a white-black deck. And it says each player loses 1 life for each zombie in play. So you can have so much fun with this, and it only costs 2 mana for this 1/1. So again, as I just said, you can play around with this and have the opponent get attacked, lose life, and then play this, tap it, and lose even more life. It's nice, interesting combos you can do with that. So let's move on to number 4. We have another angel card from Emeria Shepherd. It's from Battle for Zendikar or Zendikar Rising Commander. It's a rare, going for $1.46 on the market. Oh, it's getting up here. So it costs 7 mana for this 4/4 flying, and as you guys know, Landfall is one of my favorite abilities in Magic. It says whenever a land enters the battlefield under control, you may return target non-land permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. If that land is a plains, you may return that non-land permanent card to the battlefield instead. So you can really have fun with that. But at this point, when you don't need that extra land, typically when you have 7 mana to play this angel, so it would be another non-land permanent most likely. So it does do graveyard retrieval for white, so it has nothing to do with blue or black. So I really like that. This is why it's at number 4, of its uniqueness to the color of white having this ability. So let's move on to number 3. We have Nightmare Shepherd from Theros Beyond Death. It's a rare, going for $1.48 on the market at the time of this video. And this 4/4 flying only costs 4 mana, so that's very impressive in and itself. But guess what? Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you may exile. If you do, create a token of that's a copy on that creature, except it's 1/1 and it's a nightmare in addition to its other types. So sacrificing creatures and then bring them back from basically the graveyard, and even though they're 1/1s with those abilities, you can have so much fun with this card, which was actually quite standard at the time. A lot of people played with it. So let's move on to number 2. At number 2, we have Mycoid Shepherd from Allosaurus Reborn or Magic 2020 promo. It's a rare for 25 cents for Allosaurus or the 10.49 for the Magic 2020. The reason why I have this is, again, it has cost 4 mana for a 5/4, so I think that's pretty good. And then it has just whenever or another creature you control with a power of 5 or greater is put into the graveyard from play, you may gain 5 life. So that's really cool because it's not legendary, so you can have 4 of those in playing. It's just kind of like a way of gaining life non-stop, and it does fit in with the color combination because green gives the powerhouse to creatures while white gains life. So I really think that should be at number 2 because of that ability. At power 5, you can definitely bring those cards into play. You can definitely have fun with this card, and I really like it. So let's move on to number 1. And at number 1, we have this absolutely amazing card. It is Allosaurus Shepherd from Jumpstart. It's a mythic going for $47.93 on the market. I think this is actually the most expensive card you can get from Jumpstart. Don't quote me 100% on that. And I absolutely love this card. It really destroys blue. It costs 1 for a 1/1, so that's okay, fine. But it can't be countered. Green spells you control can't be countered. Like, oh my god. And then on top of that, it costs 6 mana. Until end of turn, each elf creature you control has a base power, tosses a 5/5, becomes a dinosaur in addition to its other types. You put this in an elf deck, oh my god, just like, you can destroy everything. This is actually playable. It's not only in the top 10 Shepherd, it could be in the top 10 of whatever. This card is absolutely amazing. I won't go on and on about it, how I think it's amazing. So I hope you guys have a good day and a good evening.